and welcome to another episode of Council Connections. This program is an opportunity for your elected officials to keep you up to date on the events, legislation, and initiatives that matter most. I'm Char Freedberg, and today I'm pleased to welcome back the Dubble Bubble Man himself, Council President Pro Tempore Jeffrey Mills. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure and an honor. I really, it's always a pleasure and honor just to be in here with you, Char. You do an excellent job in hosting the show, and especially out in the community.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate being here.
Thank you very much. Ma'am. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you here. Yes. So since your last visit, what have some of your key priorities or projects been?
Okay. Well, so being that the mayor allowed me to be the chair of the Public Safety and Transportation Committee, the chair, I've been really trying to find the solution, several solutions for the Laurel volunteer fire departments. We need volunteers. If not volunteers, we need individuals to be hired because we need to fill in these seats in these positions. And because allowing from Montgomery County fire departments to come into, just think about that time. We had a big fire actually right where I used to live at, right there in Laurel Gardens. I used to live at 905 Park Avenue.
Wow.
And that fire was right across from where me and my family used to live. Wow. And so I really have to, it was like a wake-up call to like push even harder to get some volunteers. Like we have to get people motivated. Like back in the days since 9/11, a lot of people wanted to say, hey, I want to be a firefighter. Mm-hmm. I want to be a EMS. I want to be a police officer. That morale is at a low right now. Mm-hmm. Why? I don't know. I don't know if it's a generational thing or why people literally don't want to work. I don't understand it. I think we've been maybe fed some untruths as far as when they got the stipend checks that, that's like a false, it's an untruth here, like fake news, as they say. You're given something that made you lazy. Or was it made you even lazier? Because now people don't want to work. Now people don't want to volunteer. But what if that was your home? These are the whole building had to be condemned. So I don't know how many apartments that is, but that's a lot of apartments, a lot of people who are in a place that they can't go back to their home. Right. So now things are tight. And so I've been trying to find the funding that they need, fighting for that. We right now just approved a $46 million budget. And the power in the council, we had to show unity to fight for several issues that we had. And one of the main issues was the newspaper that the Laurel Independent. Mm-hmm. We had to fight for that newspaper. That's the only newspaper that we have besides the Voices of Laurel. But the timing of the two newspapers are different. And so we had to fight for that newspaper, not just for how we feel, but for the community. And that's why I chose to fight. And I say fight instead of run, because it's always a fight when it comes to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm to the point right now, like, I really don't care. If the people want someone to speak up, if the constituents want people to come here to City Hall and voice their opinions, these are the things that I got to fight for. Mm-hmm. I didn't just do this just to do it. I want to do it to help us as a whole. And so being on the Public Safety and Transportation Committee has allowed me really just to lead that charge. And so I'm here to really lead that charge. And so these are some of the initiatives. Also, major problem, Char.
Absolutely.
Major problem that we're having right now that really touched home literally 2 days ago, where there was someone was attempted carjacking right at the Starbucks over in West Side Boulevard.
Wow.
And like, no. I told the chief, I said, listen, we got to tighten up. We really have to tighten up. We got people coming from Baltimore, coming from DC, and coming into our city and doing crime. I grew up in Sea Pleasant, where when I was a child and I wanted to buy a car, the cars that I wanted to have, I could buy the car, but couldn't afford the insurance. The insurance companies say the insurance is high because you live inside the Beltway.
Neighborhood.
Yeah. So now I'm way outside of that Beltway. But the same thing can happen to us. So one day we're going to end up being punished because we're having crime all the time. Come on now. So those are my initiatives, to these juveniles that are committing crime in our city. I'll say it again, and I'm gonna keep saying it. We need to keep. My idea is to develop a dome of protection in the city of Laurel, because I'm sure. I mean, I done fell through a bridge. I grew up being shot at and all types of stuff, and God still have me here. I'm 53 years old, and I was told at 16 that I wasn't going to make it. At 18, I wasn't going to see 21. At 21, I wasn't going to see 25. Well, guess what? I'm still here.
Knock on wood.
No, I ain't knocking on no wood. I ain't knocking on no wood, Char, because that's luck. I believe in God. And you can't believe in luck and believe in God. And that's who I put my trust into. I can't put my trust in no wood. Now I maybe can knock somebody's head loose with a pack. but I'm telling you, Char, listen, I gotta fight tooth and nail. I am not afraid. Somebody has to be held accountable. If it's not gonna be the children, then the parents of those children have to pay. Would somebody bust your window, Char? You feel that it's fine that you want to go and swipe your card and pay several $100s to get your window fixed?
Absolutely not.
Oh, so I don't want that for nobody around here. Nobody. So that's why we have to come and be one unit. One unit, one Laurel, and those are my initiatives.
Those are incredible initiatives. And what accomplishments from the past few months are you particularly proud of?
Well, I'm actually proud of the fact that, just having the Main Street Festival, I used to, I'm saying Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day, right? And I said it so much, I done lost my voice. But this year, including a job fair that I'm giving at the multi-service center, at the Craig A. Moe Multi-Service Center. And that's going to be June 9th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm looking for 100 fathers to be at my breakfast. 100 Father's Day breakfast. And that's June 14th. And at June 14th, like every time that I announce that, people like, man, that needs to be done. No wood gave me that idea, but God gave me that idea. And I said, hey, I got to run with it. I need to make it happen. And because men need to talk. We need to talk. And so we're going to have this ain't going to be no song and dance event here. You're going to be fed. You're going to have some food. You're going to have some drink. And we're going to sit down and we have to talk. We have to figure out the solutions, come up with some solutions to be able to protect our families, our possessions, and our community. These are the most important things to me. And so I have to share my idea with with the men that's going to come out. Now, I do have a singer that's going to come in and do a song. Young lady that I'm friends with, Ronnie, will come and she's going to sing a song for us. And we have a DJ, but it ain't going to be no song and dance. This ain't going to be no clapping your hands and stomping your feet. This is going to be the DJ's there so we can have a microphone. And that microphone is going to be an open mic because the ideas are not just from elected officials. The ideas are from everybody. Everybody has an idea. Everybody has concerns. They have thoughts. And so I'm looking for the ones who are thinking outside the box so that we can come up with grand ideas so that we can have grand protection for our community. And so, like I was saying, the chief said his hands are tied. Well, guess what? We're gonna untie those hands, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna find the parents, FIND, to find the parents, FINE. Because it is not, Char, if you own the dog, you're an animal lover?
I love dogs.
Okay. So now let me tell you, now if you had a dog and your dog went out here and bit somebody, who's responsible?
Me.
You. Who? Say it again?
I would be responsible because I am the one who did not properly train my dog.
There you go. So the parents are the ones who, even if it was my own child, I got to hold my child accountable, but I'm responsible. I'm responsible for that child. And if my child is leaving out the house in the middle of the night, why I don't know about that? There used to be commercials back in the day. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? Now,
I might have to ask my parents about that one.
exactly. But that's what that's what it is. So now we have to, because we can't really discipline our child. See, in this matter of fact, my outfit, this is from Cameroon. This is literally, so I got this made this is where my family's from Cameroon. And so my family lineage is so Cameroon. So these are the colors of Cameroon. This is actually the map of Cameroon. And this is the flag of Cameroon.
Wow.
And in Africa, there's a saying that we have that says that it takes a village to raise a child. We cannot leave off our foundation and just throw it to the curb because someone says, hey, we can't discipline the child no more. Well, guess what? Look around. Look what's going on today. Since in the later 90s, when there was a game they called Grand Theft Auto. Sounds familiar?
Yeah, and apparently the 6th installment is going to be delayed until 2026. Not that I'm into video games.
But if you have a child that have been playing these games, what is it doing to the mental? And now one of the reasons why at the 100 Father's Day breakfast, speaking of mental, that's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about the mental of the men. We are leaders in this country, in the world, right? Not because we're the dominant force, right? Because without a woman, it wouldn't be no world.
Thank you.
All right. So, but I just have to let you know that a man has a responsibility, and in the household and in our community, we got to do our jobs. Women really, we don't want women to do our jobs as far as being a man, as far as being a father. I ain't say daddy.
Okay.
Not being daddy, but being a father. A father, listen to the word, father. A father should take his children farther in life. This is where we're lost at. How can we take our children farther in life when we're not in the households? I was at I took my wife for Mother's Day to go see Cat Williams, and it was a room full of people. And the comedian said, single ladies, raise your hands and cheer for the single ladies. All these women, they cheering for what? You're cheering because you had a child and you won't allow that man to see his child. You cheering for that? You're cheering because you wanting to take the responsibilities of the role of the father and the mother. You're cheering for that? No, come on now. You're dressing up as a male. That's a subject that to you be your way, to me be mine. But let that man be the father to his child. Let him be that. Because look at what's going on in society. These children that are out here committing these crimes, let's do a statistic. Is your father in that household? Have you not been raised with the father and the mother? Me personally, I was raised with my mother and father in the household. There was a time that my father and my mother had split, but my father, I say, maybe my father realized that the grass wasn't greener on the other side, and he ended up coming back home, right? And so, but that time, I think I was a teenager, 13, 14, probably something like that. And, and I realized, and then so he went out there, found out that the grass wasn't green on the other side. And guess what? Your children need you, man. Your children need you.
Absolutely.
And my father, when he, got his act together, and he started realizing, hey, I need to start doing not just for my family, but for my community. And so he changed his life around, been a past worshipful master in Ionic Lodge 17. And he became a councilman in where I grew up in Sea Pleasant. And he had concern on his license plate. And I said, Dad, why you got this concern on your license plate? And he said, son, look around. You need to be concerned about your community because of the change, because of things what's going on. So guess what? We, as a whole, need to be concerned about our community. We got a lot of work to do. Some of us need to stay up at night. Some of us need to stay up at night in every community. Some of us need to stay up at night, those who can. And we got to go back to the old days where we had community watches. 'Cause we got to cut this. We got to cut it. We got to cut this crime out. And so some of us, and I ain't talking about that's why, again, I ain't talking about the women. I'm not asking you because you all are doing a great job at what you do and being who you are. But the men that's in the communities need to stay up at night and watch the community.
We shall see if that works. But you also mentioned the 100 Father's Day celebration. Do you want that to be an annual thing?
It depends on how good this one goes.
I hope that it goes well because the ideas behind it are really, really solid.
We have to, if you just can't continue something, just because you want to.
That's true.
You got to continue something that makes sense. And as long as it makes sense, like I just want to be the one who initiates. I had the thought. I want to initiate it, and I'm not the first one who had a job fair in the city of Laurel. Back when the mayor was a councilman, he called me up because he knew I owned a company. And when the mayor called me, I was like, he was councilman at the time, and I see his name on my phone, and I said, man, what councilman calling me for? And he said, can you? As soon as he said, can you? I said, man, you don't got to finish. Yes. I don't know what it was, but he said, can I? And I take it as if you're asking me and God has sent you my way to ask me to do something, then yes, whatever it is, yes, I will be there to help you and assist you in whatever it's going to take to make you successful. And so from his idea, from his vision of having a job fair, I say, and then in this day and time right now, I created a hashtag help federal workers because of what's going on with all the job losses. With, I created that with my company, with, having a trucking school. I figured that, okay, if I can help these people, whoever it is, male or female, if they have a driver license, I want to turn that driver license into a commercial driver license because, I mean, it might not be what they were used to do, but at least I can help them with a income so that we don't have to have a loss of our vehicles, a loss of our homes, a loss of our possessions. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see foreclosures in our community. We don't want that, and because without the revenue, the city, now all of that affects us in the whole. And so it was a blessing that we did not raise taxes right here in the city. We didn't have to raise taxes. And so that's a good thing. So property taxes, that went up a little, but as far as, we just have to try to keep it at a minimum. But I also believe, though, what goes up can come down. So that I want to find out when it comes to taxes. If you can raise taxes, then why we can't lower them? So I want to. That's one of the things one of the initiatives that I want to find out of how can we do that. So that's one of my challenges.
Absolutely, and you've always set a good example for the community. For instance, you're a composting champion. Why is it?
I am the compost ambassador.
Compost ambassador?
Yes,
Excuse
ma'am.
me. Why is it so important for you to set that example?
Let me tell you, even at all the not just elementary schools, but all the elementary, Vansville, Laurel Elementary, Deerfield Run, Mount Pilliard, like all the elementary schools that I've been going to for Career Day and College Fest, inside the city and outside the city, I've been passing literature about the importance of composting, what it is and what it does for us in the whole, as far as the sending food particles down the Brown Station Road at the landfill. If you ever go down there, they got pipes that run out of that dirt mountain that they have down there, and those are gases. So the gases come from all the food waste that goes there. So what we have to do is we gotta negate the sending food down there and send food to Upper Marlboro to the composting site where you can and these brown bins, well, tan bins that we have that say compost. A lot of people are not reading them. Some of my neighbors thought it was for like for mail, like certified mail or stuff like that, to put that in there. I'm like, it say compost right there on the side. Just read it. That's all. And so you put the compost. Well, what is compost? Compost is food waste. Like right now, we're going into the spring. Feel like summer though. We're going into the summer months where a lot of people are getting ready to be eating crabs, seafood, and all that type of stuff. So when you put your paper down on your table and you're eating the crabs and the shrimp and your seafood and so forth, well, guess what? All of that can be placed into the compost bin. Okay, not plastics. We don't need that. Plastics and other recyclables go in your blue bin, and so put that in your blue bin, the recycle bin. A lot of people, there should not be a lot of trash in your trash cans. We actually should pick up those trash cans, because what goes in the trash can now?
Not too much.
Thank you.
And I remember visiting the Upper Marlboro Center with you, and correct me if I'm wrong, that was your son who went with you.
Yep. I told my son, I say, if you're going to miss a day of school, you're going to miss a day of school because you're going to learn something. And so we went father and son, and I took him down there, and he was able to see the equipment, you know, the bulldozers, the front end loaders, the shredding machines of the composting and the mulch, and how it all works. And I mean, he had a great time down there. He had a great time. And so I wish that that's going to be a time that he won't forget. Hey, my dad, when he took me, we just didn't skip school to go to the go-kart track. No. We missed school to have schooling. It's always a different form of education. And education actually starts from the house, from the home. And so that's why I needed him to come down there and go. And he really had we both had a great time.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of people there had a good time, and it was really cool seeing the entire process.
Exactly. It's well worth it. That location is right down there off of 301. If anybody's ever interested. I don't remember the name of that little side road, but if you go towards the state, like where the state highway is, or just Google composting site, and actually you can go down there and pick up free mulch.
That is true.
Yeah,
and you got a chance to try that free mulch.
Hey, that mulch, I put my hands all in that mulch, man. It felt so good. I mean, hey.
It felt so uniform, and it didn't smell.
It did not smell at all. Did not smell at all. People would think that. But it had a fresh smell to it, and so I mean they're doing a great job down there, and so we have to do our part. And Councilman James Cole, he's into composting as well too, and that's one of the things that I like about him, that he's a stickler when it comes to this type of stuff, right?
Yeah, when he first tried it, apparently he said like, "Wait, what are the hippies doing now?"
Yeah. So I mean, and I like that. He catches rainwater. I don't have access to be able to do that, but maybe when I move out of my townhome and move into a single family home, I wish to do all of that type of stuff.
Who the heck knows what will happen?
Oh yeah, I love it, and the gardening. We should learn about gardening as well. When I lived off of right up the street from the police station. What was that address? It was 915 5th Street. And right in the back of the apartment was a flat ground. And that's where I used to have my compost back there. And like during the springtime, so my neighbors, we would have my neighbor named Nick. He had several daughters, like 3 or 4 daughters, and then my children. So me and Nick would get the tiller and till up the ground in the back, and we just had a section back there where we created a garden so we could show our children how to grow their own food, and how to till the earth, and how to compost. I had all that back there. So that's an education thing that us fathers have to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are some of your top priorities for the rest of the year?
So, we are over the hump of the budget. Thank you. Good gracious. And if any constituents are interested in the budget, please just go to the city website, or come up here and just get the information for the budget and know what the city, what we're doing with your money. And so, I can say our money because these are our taxes and what we pay and everything. But I'm getting ready for the safe summer nights. The mayor has passed the torch to me. And so I was doing the safe fall and winter. And I don't really do the spring because it's kind of like, it's testing time for the kids. So I kind of leave that alone. But yeah, he passed the torch for me for the safe summer nights program. So we're getting geared up for that. That's going to be starting in July. And this year, I want to get the kids moving. I want them moving. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put it all on the basketball court.
Ooh.
3-on-3 challenges. I want one of those trophies that's so big, so we're going to have a large trophy, a medium trophy, and a small trophy. And anybody that signed up for the Safe Summer Nights, we're going to put the names in the hat, and we're going to draw teams, and it's going to be mixed. It's going to be a good summer, a good and safe summer. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so that's what we're going to do this year. This summer we're going to get to moving, because the kids, they sitting there playing the game.
They're exercising their thumbs.
Yeah, their thumbs are so super strong. You know what I mean? Well, I got to get the rest of the body strong, and also that mind.
Absolutely.
So we got some things coming up. Speaking of my outfit, y'all, let me let you know that we have on now. Let me pull up. So we have the 100 Father's Day breakfast and the job fair. The job fair is Monday, June 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the Father's Day breakfast is 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and at the Craig A. Moe Multi-Service Center. Also, we have the Juneteenth committee, which I am a part of. The Juneteenth committee, and that's going to be Saturday, June 21st, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Granville Goodie Park. And we have vendors, live music. It's a cultural extravaganza. Mm-hmm. And local vendors, games. It's going to be great. The paddle boats, all that's going to be available. So, so come on out. That's June 21st. And so, we're going to have DJ there too in the band. So, and I know you like to dance, y'all.
I know.
I know you like to step.
I know you like to dance too.
So we're going to have a good time. We're going to have plenty of waters because it might be hot, but we're going to make sure there's some shade areas down there, and we're going to have a great time. And I might just rock my outfit. You
Absolutely,
know what I mean?
You should.
I might just rock my
Represent
outfit.
Represent your country.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to do that. Yeah, but this actually, like I said, it's literally hand stitched.
Wow.
Yep.
I can see the embroidery details.
Yep.
They're beautiful.
And tell them what that say right there, Sean.
That says Mills.
Huh? You got that. So everything is handmade and hand stitched from Cameroon. And one day I flew over Cameroon. I went to Mecca because I am Muslim. I went for Umrah, which is a lesser pilgrimage. I do wish to go and touch that soil one day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So besides those events, are there any other upcoming events or initiatives that you're excited about?
There was in the report, there were 2,400 citations that was given, but there were 4,400 warnings, 2,400, a little over 2,400 citations given, which brings revenue in, and 4,400 warnings. So I'm not, saying that we're being lax, but I'm saying we're being lax. Okay, we want to, that's my main focal point. Is hey, we need to set a precedence. But I also want to say, speaking of setting the precedence, with the police doing a grand job at the Main Street Festival, and EMS and the fire department on that day when helped with the fire, putting the fire out, the arrest of the young lady who thought she was privileged to break the police barricade and drive onto the main street while people were out there. I don't know what she was thinking about, but that wasn't a good thing. And in the Quran, it say that man creates his own condition. Well, now you see that all we have to do sometimes is, instead of reacting off of emotions, think 3 times. Think 3 times before you speak and before you react. Because that decision that you make can possibly change your life. And if it changes your life, it's going to change your family's life. So we have to really become more thinkers. Start being thinkers, listening, and I learned a lot from my president, Council President Clark. I learned a lot from her. I sit and I study her, and she made me the president pro temp, and and I accepted that. A lot of people wasn't. I don't know why, but they didn't want Mills to be the president. I became the vice president, the president pro temp, and but that's great because I don't blame them for not wanting me to be. I don't know what their reason is, but I know what God had in store for me, and that's what I'm willing to wait and be patient and find out. So those are my initiatives, just to find out what God has in store for me. And whatever it is, I accept it.
I really like that. And finally, how can constituents contact you?
Well, you know what? For some odd reason, they think that 401 Main Street is part of City Hall. And so I need to keep CDL Book Club separate from Councilman Mills. So if you want to contact me, please just email me, jmills@laurel.md.us. Please send me your ideas, send me your concerns, send me your thoughts, because I work for you and I wish to do what you want me to do to implement what we need to be done here in the city. And so, and other than that, I am not hard to find.
You are I'll say this, it's very easy to spot you in a crowd.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I have to say, I got to make this announcement since you announced me as the Dubble Bubble Man. Deaf to the Dubble Bubble.
No, the Dubble Bubble Man is gone?
Deaf to the Dubble Bubble.
No.
Because of the FDA, has changed it, the formula, and so I wish to no longer give out the Dubble Bubble to the children. So I don't know what it's going to be, Char. I don't know what it's going to be.
It's going to be replaced with something.
It's going to be replaced with something. I don't know. Maybe the children might get to drive my trucks or something. I don't know what it's going to be. I have to wait and just let it come to mind. But I want to make it grand. It's going to be something nice for the kids. And I don't know. Maybe if y'all want to bring your children out and I put them behind the wheel and teach them how to drive tractor trailer. I taught my son at 5 years old.
Wow.
My son was driving them tractor trailers at 5 years old out on my lot.
Wow.
If you got a brain and you can think, you got eyes, you got hands, you got feet, you're in the learning capability. And so, hey, guess what? So, death to the Dubble Bubble.
No, but we will have to see what else Council President Pro Tempore Jeffrey Mills offers to the kids. Thank you again so much for coming.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And also, I have a book called Pushed Into Purpose. I want you to check that out. It's on Amazon. Pushed Into Purpose. We have to know what your purpose is in life. So.
All right, be on the lookout for that. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of Council Connections. I'm Char Freedberg, and I'll see you next time.